Hey there! Welcome back to the Nauctis on YouTube. The creation of artificial islands is one of the infrastructure projects that requires substantial funding and a considerable amount of time. This project is typically undertaken for various purposes, such as regional development, tourism, and military needs. The method often used to create artificial islands involves the use of large ships. These ships are equipped with advanced equipment to transport and deposit materials like sand, rocks, and soil. The construction of artificial islands is not merely about dumping large quantities of sand into the sea. It requires detailed calculations and thorough planning. To ensure that the construction of artificial islands proceeds according to plan and can withstand the test of time, contractors must conduct seabed surveys and identify the location and depth of sediments. Once identified, dredging equipment is brought to the site to carry out the dredging and sediment disposal process. The dredging process, which involves removing sediment from the seabed, utilizes specialized equipment such as cutter suction dredgers or trailing suction hopper dredgers. Cutter suction dredgers are hydraulic dredging vessels classified within the broader category of hydraulic mechanical dredgers. They are capable of dredging various types of sediments, including sand, mud, rocks, and even coral in the sea. These machines can break down tough soils and rocks into smaller fragments, using a rotating cutting head and extract the material through a suction tube. On the other hand, trailing suction hopper dredgers are vessels designed to dredge sand and mud from the seabed and transport it over long distances. One company that produces trailing suction hopper dredgers is Boskalis. This Dutch company has deployed trailing suction hopper dredgers for port development, waterways, land reclamation, coastal defense, and riverbank protection. Boskalis' dredging vessels are equipped with 1 or 2 suction pipes and slowly moving trailing arms to gather sand, similar to a giant vacuum cleaner. The most critical step in dredging is creating space in the island's bay by excavating soft mud from the seabed. Afterward, workers will backfill it with gravel to form a foundation. Once the gravel is compacted and stable, the next step is to construct a seawall using rocks or sand-filled bags. Following that, workers will begin filling the body of the island. This step can be quite complex and requires multiple dredging vessels, especially cutter suction dredgers designed specifically for this task. These vessels have the potential to create an artificial island rapidly in a short period. One of the main challenges in artificial island construction is ensuring that the island is stable enough to withstand the forces of the sea. Once the artificial island is stable, workers can start building structures on it. Over the years, humans have created various types of artificial islands, such as crannogs in Scotland, which were built for ceremonial purposes. There are also artificial islands deliberately constructed to isolate specific groups, as seen in 𝗤𝗂𝗃𝗄𝗃, Chile. The primary reasons for creating artificial islands today include reducing urban population density, accommodating airports, and promoting tourism. One artificial island used for airport infrastructure is the Hong Kong International Airport Master Plan 2030 project, which aims to expand the airport's area in Hong Kong, particularly for runways. From this project, there is a plan to build a 3rd new runway. This airport will be constructed by reclaiming 1,606 acres of land from the sea north of Hong Kong Airport. The new runway is expected to increase passenger and flight capacity to up to 120 flights per hour. The construction of artificial islands for air transportation infrastructure uses two methods: drained reclamation and deep cement mixing. These methods are employed because about 40% of the reclaimed sea surface has been contaminated by mud from previous projects. In the drained reclamation method, workers place layers of soil and sand on the seabed, creating pressure to bind these materials together. This separation prevents seawater from mixing with the layers, ensuring their strength to support the load above. To succeed, a layer of sand and soil about 12 to 14 meters thick on the seabed is required. Although it may seem simple, the process of stacking materials takes a long time, up to 12 months. This method is suitable for uncontaminated seabeds. On the other hand, the second method, deep cement mixing, is specifically used on muddy seafloors. Deep cement mixing, DCM, is a foundation construction technique in which cement is injected into the soil to strengthen it. This method is employed when cheaper techniques like sediment dredging cannot be used due to the muddy seabed. Deep cement mixing was first developed in Japan in the 1970s. For the land reclamation project at Hong Kong Airport, contractors used a DCM barge, a specialized machine for creating holes in the soil layer and injecting a cement mixture into it. This method helps reduce the negative impact on the surrounding marine ecosystem. Before using the DCM method, geotextiles are placed to cover the seabed. Divers oversee the installation to ensure it matches the predetermined plan. Afterward, a 2-meter layer of sand is placed, and the DCM barge drills the seabed to a certain depth before spraying cement into the soil. This prevents mud from affecting the quality of the surrounding seawater because when the DCM barge exits the soil, the mud is trapped beneath the previously placed sand layer. Moreover, some countries create artificial islands to assert territorial claims in disputed areas. These islands can be used to support military installations, build lighthouses, and other infrastructure. In some cases, artificial islands are built to protect sensitive coastal habitats from erosion and other environmental factors. For example, there are artificial islands intentionally constructed to preserve mangrove forests and other marine plant species. In recent years, artificial islands have become popular tourist destinations for travelers from various countries. One such island built specifically for the tourism industry is the Bungalow Resort located in the Maldives. The resort offers luxury accommodations and allows tourists to enjoy the beautiful beach atmosphere. Another reason for creating artificial islands is to develop transportation infrastructure, such as bridges, roads, and tunnels. One notable infrastructure project is the Hong Kong 𝗖𝗂𝗀𝗀 Bridge, which includes several artificial islands connected by roadways. Among nations, China has gained prominence in creating numerous artificial islands. To facilitate this process, China designed and built a dredging vessel called the 𝗖𝗂𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. The 𝗖𝗂𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 is a larger version of vessels previously used in China for creating artificial islands in the South China Sea. This massive Asian vessel can dredge various sediments from the seabed at a rate of up to 6,000 cubic meters per hour, equivalent to 3 standard swimming pools. Due to its capabilities, the 𝗖𝗂𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 is often referred to as the Magic Island Maker. Additionally, China utilizes other crucial vessels, including cutter suction dredgers and trailing suction hopper dredgers in the artificial island construction process. Once the seabed sediments are dredged, they are transported to another location for use in other projects, depending on factors such as the type and size of the sediment. Despite the advanced nature of artificial island construction, these projects still have environmental drawbacks. It's important to note that artificial island development does not always benefit marine ecosystems. This project can have significant impacts on the marine ecosystem, both from material dredging and construction processes, leading to severe ecological consequences. Dredging sediments can lead to coral reef damage, which serves as the habitat for many marine species. Furthermore, the process of dredging seabed sediments can introduce pollutants that lower water quality and pose risks to marine life. The construction process generates pollutants such as heavy metals and hazardous chemicals, which can have long-term adverse effects on the environment. For nearly a decade, China has been dredging seabed sediments to create artificial islands, disposing of them in areas with thriving coral reefs, particularly in the South China Sea. This issue has raised significant concerns, particularly among biologists. Currently, there are 7 artificial islands covering more than 6,096 acres in the South China Sea. There are plans for further land reclamation, but experts continually warn that if contractors do not consider the marine ecosystem, coral reefs and other marine resources could be endangered. To mitigate threats to the marine ecosystem, several plans are being developed and implemented to ensure that artificial island construction remains safe for the underwater environment.